Hello and welcome to the training video series for the Envoy Excel add-in, also known as the Cluster Analysis Tool, or CAT. This video will go over some of the basics, such as the layout of an output file and how to plot a tag. The add-in is used to do analysis such as correlations and comparing time periods, as well as plotting tags and other functions. The add-in must be used with Envoy output files, which will almost always have cat graphs as the file name. To install the add-in, you might need to first unzip the folder and extract it to somewhere on your computer. The folder called Envoy on your C drive is a good place. Then go to Excel and go to File, Options, Add-ins. Then at the bottom, make sure that Excel Add-ins is selected and click Go. Click Browse and navigate to the add-in. Click OK and you will get a pop-up that has the build date and the add-in path. If you have a new version of the add-in to load, go to the same folder and replace the old add-in with a new one. In order for the add-in to work properly, you might need to change some settings. Go back to File, Options, then Trust Center Settings, Macro Settings, and make sure macros are enabled and the box for the VBA project model is checked. Once you have the add-in loaded, you will notice an Add-ins tab in the ribbon that includes a drop-down menu and a series of buttons. Let's start on the tag index sheet. This is a list of all the tags that are included in this file. To plot a tag, you can highlight the tag name and click on the magnifying glass. You can highlight a tag anywhere in this file. It does not have to be on the tag index sheet. This will plot the tag you selected on the graphs sheet as the independent variable. There are four main charts that Envoy uses. The chart in the upper left is a QSUM chart, which are very good at identifying when a tag changed. On this chart, the blue line is the dependent variable and the red line is the independent variable. In order to understand QSUM charts, you need to look at the slope. When the tag is running above average, it has a positive slope. When the tag is running below average, it has a negative slope. And when the graph is flat, it means that the tag is running at its historical average. So when there is a maximum or minimum, or some other large change in the slope of the line, this tells you that the tag has changed at that time. It tells you when the tag went from above average to below average, or vice versa. The times when the independent variable had a QSUM maximum or minimum are in the upper corners of this chart. The next chart shows the value of the independent variable over time. Then there's a scatter plot that includes a fitted line and the R-squared value. The chart in the lower left shows the data broken down into quartiles of the independent variable. So in this chart, the first quartile has the average value for the lowest 25% of data points for the independent variable, along with the number of data points. All of these data points are below a certain threshold. For these data points, the average value for the dependent variable is also shown. So this chart can give you a general idea of the relationship between the independent and dependent variables. Now, where are these charts getting the data? All of the data that the rest of the output file uses to do calculations, create graphs, etc. comes from the graph table sheet. Envoy collects data for the process and filters out data when the process is not running. Then the data is aggregated into time slices, sometimes referred to as time buckets. On this sheet, each column is a separate time slice. On the left, you'll see the tag names and tag descriptions. Below these is the data for each tag. First you have the start and end time for the time bucket, then the average value over that time, followed by the coefficient of variation, and then the QSUM statistics. And below that is data that makes up the quartile charts. If there's ever any data you would like to remove for any reason, you can do that here by right-clicking anywhere on the block of data you would like to remove the data from, and going to Envoy, Remove Data Slice. This brings up a form that shows the maximum and minimum values for this tag. If I wanted to remove the time buckets with the lowest average values, I would enter in a new minimum value. This tells me the number of time buckets that will be removed. You can do the same for the coefficient of variation and QSUM data. Clicking Apply will remove the data.